Happy Spiritual Sunday to you all. So let's start with our affirmation as we do every week. Especially now, the world needs it more than ever. We need to remember this. We need to keep focused. So we say together, consciousness is everything. I raise my consciousness today to see the miracles and wonders of life. I commit myself to behave with greater love, compassion, and kindness towards all human beings. Okay, so let's just get right into it. Those of you who are just starting, if you want to go back, or remember, you can always watch it again. It'll be on the Spiritual Sunday Facebook page. I don't know how long they keep it, but it's there must be a while. Okay, so let's start like this. There's a story that the Kabbalists talk about, and I think it was Rav Ashlag who wrote in one of his books. That was then, of course, continued with Rav Brandwein, his student and main disciple, and was continued the Rav in Karen. So the story goes that as the night is coming to an end, a rooster and a bat are having conversation with each other. And the bat says to the rooster, says, "Boy, I cannot wait for the break of dawn, for morning to show up." And the rooster looks at the bat and says, "But wait a second, you are more comfortable in the nighttime, right? That's when your senses or whatever work. And in the daytime, you really can't see, you can't navigate," meaning, as I call this, blinded by the light. So for me, this is basically what's going on in the world. It's another perspective. And as we keep talking about, consciousness is everything, meaning what? We have to constantly be reevaluating, reassessing, where is our consciousness? How are we looking at the world? How much am I applying what I learn in the center from the fundamental, most powerful course I believe we have, Kabbalah 1, but how are we taking those tools, wisdom, technology, understandings, and applying them to whatever's going on in our life currently? So, keeping in this theme as we see what's going on in the world, the Zohar told us thousands of years ago that in the time we're in, basically the time that's leading up to the end of all pain, suffering, and death, which is predestined, and I don't want to go into that. You can call your Kabbalah teacher or write me, even comments on the Facebook page here, and we can have a whole Spiritual Sunday on that. But the Zohar said 2,000 years ago at this time, it's what's called Oy and Ashrei. And if you have a Zohar, look up Shemot, the section of Shemot. I believe it's verse 96 or 8. Oy and Ashrei. Woe to people who live at this time, and praiseworthy or happy are people who live at this time. And really, what's going on? What's the essence of it? Day by day, since Adam and Eve, the light is getting stronger. In essence, simple terms, from day one till the end of the 6,000 year cycle that then leads into 1,000 years of peace, or at least 1,000 years of peace, the light is getting stronger and stronger and more intense. Why is it Oy and Ashrei, the Kabbalists teach us? Why can it be good for some and not for others? Simple. Those who are channeling the light, the stronger the light, the more blessing, the more cleansing, the more removal of chaos and darkness, and the more the light and blessing are revealed. Because remember, the Creator gave us 100%. Our job in this world is to reveal the 100%. The Oy, right, is when people are blocking that light. Woe to those people who are blocking the light, because as the light then wants to come in, it becomes extreme pressure. Like, let's say with high blood pressure. Why is there high blood pressure? Because the arteries are blocked. If the arteries aren't blocked, then the pressure is normal. So Oy and Ashrei, happy for those of us who are breaking our klipot, removing our blockages, who are sharing more to let more light flow through, then our blessings keep increasing. Those who are holding on to their anger, jealousy, greed, guilt, shame, insecurity, or whatever, that are holding on to their blockages, for them it will be extremely painful and basically, woe, unhappy. So, go back, Kabbalah 1, the Creator gave every single one of us, because as we often talk about, there was only one of us in the beginning, one vessel filled with infinite light. But let's make it today's world. The Creator gave each of us an infinite desire for the light and for total fulfillment from the light. We use free will, our free choice, to come into this world. And here in this world, we have the choice to either seek the light by trying to get, receive, or as we call it, desire to receive for oneself alone, or we have the choice to reveal eternal light and eternal blessings, lasting fulfillment, by sharing our light. That's our choice. Try and receive, act upon only the vessel aspect of a person, which is our desire to receive fulfillment from the light, or we can act from our light nature, which is why we came here, to imitate the Creator that shared its light infinitely. Those are our choices. So then when a person is reactive, if you think about it, if the light is infinite, when a person, even you and I, when any of us are being reactive, what are we really doing in that moment? We are essentially being blinded by the light. We're not seeing clearly. It's like there's too much light because we're trying to take instead of share. And our commitment when we came into this world, or coming down, if you will, into this world, our commitment was to share the light 24/7 like the Creator. That's it. That's all we came here to do. Be a pure channel of light. So we're shining light 24/7. And think about it. If you're shining light 24/7, then your world is happy, joyous, prosperous, healthy, loving, kind, protected. All the blessings that are the light of the Creator. To whatever degree you and I are not channeling that light, to that degree there's darkness, and in that darkness is all the chaos, negativity, stress, angst, etc., all the chaos. So when a person's being reactive, it starts with something pushing their own button. If you don't have a button, nobody can push it. So something has to start pushing our button. At that moment, what happens? We are blinded. That's why we call it a klipa. There's a blinder, a shell, a veil that has been activated of fear, ego, insecurity, resentment, jealousy, whatever it is. And being blinded by the light that's behind, or if you will, the other side of that klipa, blinded by it, then a person will just simply act reactively. Whatever they can do to get instant gratification, whatever they can do to take away the discomfort of the moment. But by trying to get, listening to the opponent that says, oh, just get now, don't think of anything else, just knee-jerk respond to your discomfort, to your pain. Just knee-jerk response, short circuit we call it. I always go back to, it's like taking your 110 appliance and plug it into 220 electricity. It's going to activate, let's call it, for a second and then blow up. Instant gratification, short-term fulfillment. So in this frame, reactivity is blinded to the light because a person doesn't see the light. All they see is the darkness. And in the darkness, they're feeling the anger, the resentment, the insecurity, the fear, whatever it may be. They're feeling the hurt. They're feeling discomfort. They're feeling pain. And the Rav and Karen always taught us, we are not made of stone and steel, so you're going to feel what you're going to feel. The key is not to not feel. The key is when you're feeling that reactive emotion coming up, do you knee-jerk respond and let that negative energy guide your behavior? Or like we learned from Kabbalah 1, do you pause, realize what's happening? Here's your opportunity to break the shell, the curtain that's hiding your light, that's hiding the blessing you just asked for in the morning. Break that shell and let the light channel through you out into your world. If you don't shine light out into the darkness, how can you expect the darkness to go away? If you're not channeling the light of that blessing, whatever it is you want, health, peace, love, protection, prosperity, good children, peace of mind, clarity, guidance. If you're not shining that out into your life, how can it manifest in your life? We really need, at this point in what's going on in the world, to truly wake up to the light. Wake up to realize, as Kabbalah Center students, what's going on in the world. Pause. Think. When you're being challenged, when that reactive, negative, emotional energy is welling up, pause. What do you want to come back into your life? What do you want to see made manifest in your life? The anger, the hatred, the animosity, the guilt, the lack, the poverty, the jealousy, insecurity? Is that what you want? Because it's an absolute universe of cause and effect. What you do determines what comes back to you, regardless of what is going on around you. What you do comes back to you. What they do comes back to them. There's no exception. What do you want to come back to you? There is no neutral. Thank you for reminding me, Mark. There's no such thing as neutral. If a person feels negative and thinks that in essence they're doing nothing, meaning they're not screaming and yelling, but they're also not revealing that extra light, breaking that curtain, that klipa it's called, then what's happening? They're leaving the darkness the same. It's as if they have added more darkness, because instead of breaking the klipa and adding more light through their actions, not only for their life to be brighter and more blessed, but also for all the world to be influenced by that brighter light and that greater blessing. So we're either adding, heaven forbid, 1 trillion times to the darkness, even by, quote, staying neutral, no less by doing something reactive, adding to the darkness, or removing the darkness and adding illumination, adding to the light and the blessing, individually and collectively. Those are the only two choices. Desire to receive for oneself alone, reactivity, or the actions of transformational sharing, proactive behavior, breaking the curtains, revealing the light, that next level of light. So, Michael Berg, yesterday, and if you're on Kabbalah.com, you can go back and listen to him if you didn't hear it. He was just reminding us, true spirituality is when the going gets tough, basically, and I'm paraphrasing. When the going gets tough, then the spiritual truly get going. Meaning, true spirituality is difficult, it's effort, it's exertion, it's uncomfortable, because it necessitates unconditional or uncomfortable transformational sharing, unconditionally shining light. Now, before the opponent gets in your head and makes you misconstrue what I'm saying, unconditional shining the light does not in any way, shape, or form mean that we are endorsing negative actions, that we are exempting or excusing negative actions, or we're justifying or rationalizing in any way, shape, or form negative actions. Shining the light unconditionally means being guided by the light, means revealing the next level of light, means taking away aspects of darkness, chaos, pain, suffering, and death. Spirituality is not, true spirituality is not easy. It's not like he was saying yesterday. It's not like, oh, I have to get up a little early to scan my Zohar. I have to remember to read my Ana B'Koach 2 or 3 times a day. It's nice, it's important, but true growth, true spiritual elevation means rising to the next level. Whatever metaphor, analogy you want to use, person in school, to get basically from college to post-collegiate, postgraduate studies, you have to exert yourself. You have to extend yourself. You want to rise to the next level, you can't just stay comfortably in undergraduate work. You have to exert to already start doing, if you will, postgraduate effort, and then be pulled up or allowed to enter into postgraduate studies. In a business, if you're in a corporate business and you want to move up the corporate ladder, you have to, in your level, you can't just stay in that level and just do that level job. You could be very responsible, you can be doing an amazing job in that level, but you will not grow or be promoted into the next level unless you're already in the level you're in, starting to do what the next level work is about. Because then, in essence, what are you doing? You're showing that you are capable and spiritually of that next level already. And then, going back to the universe will elevate us. Because it simply means when you break the ceiling that's blocked by that klipa, by that negativity that we're still holding on to, when you share transformationally, and if you will, break that ceiling, break that curtain, you then automatically reveal the next level of light, and you are brought up into the next level by the universe, by your soul, by your action of revealing more the next level of that light. But you cannot stay in the same comfort level of kindness, love, compassion, generosity, tolerance, forgiveness, and expect the universe, your soul, to take you to the next level. It does not work that way. We have to push ourselves. So the true sign, if you want to know, are you growing? The true sign is when you're feeling angry or hurt or resentful or insecure or guilt or shame or fear. But you pause, and in spite of what you feel of a negative nature, you shine the light of its opposite. Kindness, forgiveness, compassion, tolerance, love, care, generosity, gratitude, appreciation. And yes, I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, which reminds me to share with you. There's no such thing as fake light. No such thing. So as this person was asking me, so if And it was very cute the way that he said it. He said, so if I'm holding my nose, meaning he thinks the other person is stinky, terrible, horrible, whatever, right? If he's holding his nose, but he's scanning the Zohar and sending light, is it okay? Yes, because there is no fake it till you make it. There is no fake light. So the fact that he's scanning the Zohar, he's reciting the Ana B'Koach and channeling light, even metaphorically, and I think you get it, like holding his nose, it's real light. It may be only 1 watt of light, but yesterday he wasn't shining any light towards that situation or those people. So the fact he's already sending even the 1 spark of light is beginning to put a tear, a hole in that curtain and a veil, and more of his soul's light shining out. So he's also benefiting with a spark, if you will, of darkness disappearing, and a greater spark of peace, protection, prosperity, health, love, etc. is being revealed. And once you make that little break, like whatever, piece of cloth, you try and pull it with your hands, it won't, you can't tear it. But you put that one little cut in there, and then the rest goes much easier. So just start in whatever way. Just think, send light out of your heart and soul, recite Ana B'Koach, scan one of the 72 names, scan the Zohar, hand out a Zohar, channel that light. Channel that light. You begin for you. The first benefit is you. You remove, transform some of your stress to peace and harmony, some of your chaos and confusion into clarity and guidance. First benefit is always us by letting more light out of us. The path of the light is very straight and it's very, as Rav Ashla calls it, very narrow because it's unconditional sharing all the time. And remember, that does not mean handling the physical situation, but you can handle it in the darkness, you can handle it with the light. Handling in the darkness, fulfillment, and it has to show up again. Handling it with the light means at least the extent of extra light you're sharing. To that extent, you've grown, elevated, and parts of that darkness and chaos and confusion disappeared. So all of our spiritual work is to stay on that path. Unconditional sharing. Letting go means I'm letting go of my desire to receive for oneself alone, my desire for instant gratification, and shining light. Letting go is, if you will, that two-pronged process. Restrict my desire to receive for oneself alone reactivity and shine the light. Not just, okay, I'm not going to be screaming and yelling, but I still hold in my heart anger and resentment and jealousy. No, light. Add shining the light. That's true letting go. If a person's in an obstacle course, there's a room that's filled with obstacles all over the room, and they are, quote, forced to go from one side of the room to the other. They're on the first side and the lights go off. It's in the dark. They know there's obstacles. They know that they can trip on things, bang into things, whatever it is. Knowing they have to get across that room in the dark, as they're standing at the doorway, the first doorway, the starting point, how do you think we feel? Of course, fear, anxiety, stress, worry, already sensing pain and suffering, because we know somewhere along the line we're probably going to run into an obstacle. But if, as we're standing at that starting point, and you turn on the light, even before you started to move, where does the stress and the anxiety and the confusion go? It dissipates. Because now at least, yes, you know you still have to cross the room. You know you still have to go through the obstacle course. But when you can see it clearly, essentially, even physically, the light gives you guidance and clarity. So you can run around the obstacles, jump the ones that you're capable, whatever you want to say, but it's easier to go quickly across the room and get to the finish line. So the key is turn on the light. because only the light of the Creator is eternal. Darkness is not. Darkness is limited. In fact, all the years we've been in the center, and b'nai a million times I've been in the center, coming up on 37 years now, it's always sounded so simple. You walk into a dark room, how do you remove the darkness? You turn on the light, you turn on the light. But as the Zohar says, always comes the solution before the problem, always comes the cure before the ailment. So as now, after 37 years, I'm looking back and connecting the dots more than I ever have been able to, and seeing the Rav and Karen were preparing us in very many ways for exactly the test, if you will, the spiritual test of our spirituality, our test of how much we have come to embody, not in the brain, embody in our heart, in our soul, this wisdom that we learn in the Kabbalah Center, this technology of the soul. They've been preparing us for this. Even this last week, I listened to a number of classes on the energy of the week from the Rav, from Karen, from Michael, and even going back, one of them as far as 2011, 12 years. As I listened to it with the ears, if you will, the perceptive senses of 2023 and the current events, it was like another level of appreciation, how powerful the Rav and Karen and Michael and Monica are channels of the light. The Rav and Karen, for all these years, till they left the world, preparing us, speaking about the future, even though some people thought, including me, at the time, it was relative to some of the things going on in the world. But they were preparing us for this in many ways. Light is eternal, darkness is limited. And something moved me this morning, and I Googled, because as I've shared with you, as far as I still know, no scientist has a scientific explanation for how light takes away darkness. So I Googled it this morning, and this is what I got. You didn't really remove darkness. Instead, you added light. As you add light, darkness automatically leaves, because darkness and light cannot exist in the same place at the same time. If I didn't know better, I would have thought that came right out of Kabbalah 1. The light is infinite. It cannot disappear. It cannot go anywhere. We can only close our eyes. We can only put up those curtains. We can only put on various thicknesses of blindfolds, to make the dark or the light a little less, or completely block out the light from our perception. You don't make the light go away. It doesn't change the light in our soul. It just blocks the light from coming out. And when the light is blocked that much, then people, because our eternal nature is desire to receive fulfillment from the light, though, that's our true desire, but that desire for fulfillment, when a person's so caught up, so blocked, so covered up with these shells and curtains that they don't see any light, so to speak, out there, that's when all of the most extreme, horrific, negative behaviors come about. Because the light of their soul, which we all have, is not being expressed. The light removes darkness. It's hard to keep in mind in these times, but we have to remember we've been given free will, and as the Zohar says in many different ways, we create our own life by our actions, our choices, individually and collectively. The world is not, there is no humanity, let's call it, separate from you and me. There's no them. The old thing, well, why are they doing this or they did that? No, we're all part of them. We're all part of humanity. So it's the accumulation of 8 billion pieces of light being revealed that will affect us individually and the world collectively, or heaven forbid, the opposite. We are in charge and have created the state of this world today. We decide what happens. It's our free choice. So we can be proactive, we can be reactive. And I just want to share, and I've mentioned some of you came a little late, because it's at least in the Americas today, a special Zohar Unity Day where all of us from North, South Americas are going to go out around the world, and other places are just continuing to do so, to hand out Zohar, to bring light, which we'll mention here in a minute. But I want to remind you, because actually we're getting close to the story in the Bible, in the weekly energy, story of Jacob and Esau. They were brothers, they were twins. The biblical story. But it says, for all the physical 1% reasons of the simple story of the Bible, Esau hated Jacob. And yet, because Jacob sent gifts, which you and I know through the code of the Bible really means, sent angels of light, sent beams of light. Jacob sent so much light to his brother Esau that hated him, wanted to kill him, that when they met, the only thing Esau could do was hug and kiss his brother. We need today to be more Jacob. We need to send light to the entire planet, to all the people on earth. Because as Jacob taught us, and there's other stories like that, you send light, you wake up light inside people, the light inside will take away the darkness, will take away the strength and the voice of the opponent inside us. Remember, once again, the only opponent we have, the only enemy we have, is that negative voice that we've implanted in our head to challenge us. Are you really spiritual? Do you want to be on that spiritual path? And as the Kabbalists say, to be on the true spiritual path, as we mentioned, uncomfortable, it's like climbing a mountain. It's effort, it's work, but at the top of the mountain is heaven on earth, is peace and harmony. All the blessings that have been implanted in our soul being revealed and experienced. But for those who are not making that effort, who think spirituality is just simply comfortable, whatever, meditations, a little bit of nice actions, things like that, it says that at the end of their life, when they look back, they see that the only effort they had to make to grow was as if it was breaking a thread. So you and I want to now be like Jacob, send so much light that the world will just bring us back, reflect to us all the blessings. The solution always before the problem. So for me, The simplest thing, yes, we still want to learn. We still have to break our individual klipot. We still have to reveal more light. But the way to empower it most intensively and speed up the process, and at a certain level, really the simplest way to speed up the transformation of the planet is spreading the Zohar. Today, like I mentioned to you, it's a Zohar Day of Unity. So we'll have thousands of people in the Americas going out to distribute these books that have been sponsored by some of your gifts, some of your contributions, and other people around the world in the center that allow us just to share this light that will remove darkness. And like we said with the obstacle course, once the darkness is removed, that stress, the anxiety disappears. In 2001, May of 2001, the Rav introduced what in essence was the beginning of the formal Zohar project. In other words, even for the years before that, since I started the center in 1987, the goal was spreading the Zohar around the world. But at that point, the Rav put it up a notch and said that he had gotten a message, and we had just printed, I think it was 50,000 sets of the English Zohar. First time in history, the biggest printing, just. And the Rav looked at us and said that he got the message, we have to spread 1 million sets of Zohar. We all practically fell off our chairs. And then the Rav went through the explanation, which we don't have time now. And then September 2001, we realized again, the solution always comes before the problem. The Rav had upped the bar of spreading the Zohar, gave us a goal of 1 million sets of Zohar. And then came 9/11. And it's been getting more and more intense, oy and ashrei. More people learning Kabbalah than ever in history, more students in the Kabbalah Center than ever, more Zohar out in the world because of the efforts and the projects of the center than ever in history. But now, as I've mentioned the last couple of weeks, our goal is in the next 6 months to spread 1 million, at least 1 million pocket Zohars. And by the end of the year, at least 2 million. We've already done in just under 5 weeks, over 100,000. It took us a whole year last year because unfortunately, what happened these last couple years woke up a lot of people to realize that they were in the darkness, that they weren't really pushing themselves to be on the path of the light. And so more and more people have come along to help. And it's just shown me, and I hope it's opened all of our eyes, that when we decide and we work together and we're committed to the mission, the goal, we can make miracles happen. A year's worth of Zohar distribution in less than 5 weeks. So imagine if some of you who haven't been, start. If we get another 1,000, 10,000 people, even just personally distributing more Zohar, every one more person adds exponentially to the collective. So maybe this year we can do 5 million, 10 million. But let's seek to spread a critical mass of light through the Zohar. If we commit to spread so much light through spreading the Zohar, as it says in the portion of Noach, the ark was the protection that protected Noach and his family, those on the ark, from the vision of the angel of death. Meaning because the angel of death couldn't see Noach and his family, then the death of the flood couldn't reach him. So as you and I will commit ourselves to spread more light, through uncomfortable transformational sharing, exerting ourselves to the next level, and fundamentally spreading the beacons of light that are the Zohar, that we can blind the angel of death, that it doesn't see us from the outside, let's call it, and it stops internally the voice of the opponent, the voice of the angel of death, and the influence of the angel of death on us individually. That the only thing we'll be doing, love your neighbor as yourself, the path to eternal bliss, will be shining so much light that the path of the light will be clearer. The effort we make will be uncomfortable, not painful. We will be, in essence, able to be sending so much light that the Esav within us and the Esavs externally will only be able to kiss us, kiss the Jacob inside of us. And at that point, the light will reign. The light will reign supreme, and heaven on earth will be the home for each and every one of us. God bless. So I can only ask and encourage you, if you've been impacted by what's going on around the world, if you're crying like so many people for the pain and suffering that's going on, share, support the projects of the center, and help us print and spread more Zohar, help us bring more people to come study. The more you and I do, the more we'll attract more people to come study, and the faster we can bring that critical mass of light. So those of you, well, you're all online today, let's just bless our offering. I just posted the link. Whatever extra you can do, every Zohar goes out is saving a dozen lives or more. So first and foremost is always gratitude, appreciation, because that appreciation for all the blessings in our life opens our heart and soul, creates an extra space within us where the light can be revealed in its purity of love, kindness, and compassion. We fill our offering with this blessing, with light, with love. Gratitude to the center for what it's brought us, what it teaches us, how it's allowed us to live more and more into our true potential, reveal all of our capabilities, all of our light. And so we contribute to the projects of the center, particularly the Zohar project, with our love and our intention of reaching the heart and soul of every person on earth, to break them free from the bondage, the chains, the prison walls of anger, jealousy, hatred, violence, greed, insecurity, and allow the light of the Creator of love and kindness and compassion and generosity, tolerance, understanding, shine out into the world. And together we say, Amen. And so I'd like to, sharing the light. Those of you who are new, what you see in front of you, Mem Lamed Hey, one of the 72 names of God. The Hebrew letters, Aramaic letters, just shine the light of God. Let it be that simple. They're just conduits of the light, portals, as Karen always called them, that let the light shine from the upper world through them and then out through these shapes, out into our world. And as you're looking them, as we call it, scanning, eyes are the window to the soul, the light shining out of them, reaching through your eyes into your soul and activating a higher degree of a desire, a commitment, a motivation, and enthusiasm to spread the light of the Zohar and Kabbalah to all the world. Mem Lamed Hey. Let it be in your mind's eye. And then if I can ask you, sit comfortably in your chair, feet flat on the floor, hands on your lap. Take in a few deep breaths to relax, breathing in through the nose. Hold the breath for a moment. Exhale through the mouth. Taking in the light of the breath of God, the breath of life, as you inhale. Let it circulate through your body, head to toe. Exhale, releasing tension, stress, any blockages you have. And now seeing the Mem Lamed Hey in front of you. The spiritual function button that activates the desire inside each of us to shine more light, spread more light, reveal more light into the world. Mem Lamed Hey, see it shining with the infinite bright light of the Creator. And let's breathe it in, into us, into our heart and soul, with each breath. That it's not just the breath of life, existence. It's the breath of life and light, of elevation, expansion. Increasing, intensifying the light that shines through us into the world. Feel the Mem Lamed Hey expanding inside your lungs as you breathe it in. That its light spreads through your heart, your soul, into your brain, your mind, through all of your being, through the arms to the tips of your finger, down through the body to the soles of your feet, to the top of your head. Your entire being shining, brighter light, the pure light of unconditional love, the pure light of the Creator. Feel it activating your heart and soul with an excited energy to go out from you, out into the world. Let's send it with a conscious intention that the beam of light, Mem Lamed Hey, we shine from our heart and soul. And we focus, we target that beam of light to reach the heart and soul of all of our family and friends, and through them to every person on earth. See it awakening more of the light of the Creator inside every person. See the light shining brighter. Experience, sense the light shining. A higher intensity, a high vibration inside you, also waiting to get out through those added proactive sharing actions you will do. Feel that vibration shining out of your heart and soul that's expanding the light in the world as it's shining through you to all people on the planet. See the darkness dissipating. See every person acting with greater unconditional love, throwing off the chains and the shackles of bondage to the illusion, to all the darkness and chaos, the chains that have held us to the angel of death, the opponent, the adversary. Freeing ourselves from that influence of chaos and revealing and attaching ourselves to the light of the Creator, to the tree of life that is eternal life, peace, keep this consciousness with you as you move forward into your day. Commit yourself to do more and more transformational sharing to increase it. Keep this vision you have now always in the front of your mind, the forefront of your spiritual vision, that it guides you, motivates you to make it manifest. A world of peace, humanity of unity and love, an existence of heaven on earth. Together we take one more deep breath to anchor this in, to solidify it and keep it with us. And as you exhale, slowly opening your eyes. Thank you for joining me, joining us. Please share this with other people. In a few minutes after we finish, it'll be on the Facebook page that you're watching us on. Just push share, let it go out through your social media to other people. Share it wherever you can, what other platforms you have. The more people have access to this wisdom, the more people will then apply it, and the faster the light will reign in the world. God bless. Have an amazing day, amazing week. And may we bond together to help each of us when we're thrown about by the events going on around us, to will be able to be pulled back to centered, focused balance to remember to pause, share light, because the only thing I want coming back to me, that we want coming back to us, is the light of love and peace, kindness, and all the blessings of the Creator. God bless.
Thank you for joining us. If you liked what you saw, subscribe to this channel that you'll be notified when we post new videos. Share the video with your friends, they can also benefit. And check out the website, www.kabbalah.com, that's Kabbalah, for hundreds of articles and classes. Wish you an amazing day, and God bless.